people around the world are celebrating the arrival of the new year and a new decade, and there's not long to go here. But there's anger in Australia as Sydney goes ahead with its New Year fireworks as bushfires rage across the country. Also tonight, protesters stormed the United States Embassy in Baghdad. The former boss of Nissan escapes house arrest in Japan by hiding in a musical instrument case. Good evening. Here in the UK, we've still got a few hours to wait, but people around the world have been celebrating the new year. Auckland in New Zealand and Sydney in Australia were the first major cities to welcome 2020 and the start of a new decade. This is the scene in Dubai right now. Fireworks there lighting up the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest tower in the world, and of course we'll have lots more fireworks and celebrations to come as people welcome in 2020. Other countries that have already celebrated the start of the new year and the new decade include New Zealand and Australia, as Sky's Noel Phillips reports.
There are few cities in the world that do fireworks better than Sydney. The city's world-famous Harbour Bridge was the stage for a 100,000 firework display using 500 kilograms of pyrotechnics. Officials have been under increasing pressure to cancel the $6.5 million event as bushfires, which have claimed more than a dozen lives and ravaged towns across New South Wales and Victoria, continue to sweep through the country. Two hours earlier, Auckland in New Zealand became the first major city to see in 2020. The 5-minute display saw the Sky Tower bathed in a sea of colours, accompanied by lasers, animations and a mashup of music. Compare this conspicuous display to that of North Korea, where the fireworks were considerably more muted. There were celebrations as thousands braved the cold weather to welcome in the new year. Elsewhere in Hong Kong, the celebrations were quieter compared to previous years, amid pro-democracy protesters gathering across the city, urging people not to give up the fight for democracy. Meanwhile, Taipei's 101, Taiwan's tallest building, was packed with colours as fireworks lit up the dark skies. Beijing opted for a more traditional way to party. In Bangkok, the start of the new decade was met with a bang. As 2020 was celebrated in style. Noel Phillips, Sky News.
Hello and welcome to Year in Review, a chance to look back at 2019's biggest news stories. Well, joining me are the editor of the Times Literary Supplement, Stig Abel, the Telegraph's associate editor, Camilla Tominey, the Sun's political editor, Tom Newton-Dunn, and the editor of The Londoner at the Evening Standard, Ayesha Hazarika. So welcome to all of you.
Thank you very much.
Now, when we first sat down to make this programme, we asked all of our guests here to choose their story of the year, and their decision was unanimous. It was, of course, the Brexit election. So we're going to get to that in a moment, but through the course of the hour, we're also going to be looking at the big stories from outside Westminster, our panel's heroes and villains of the year, as well as their predictions for 2020. It's 10 o'clock. This is Sky News at 10, our top story. People around the world celebrate a new year and a new decade. Sydney was one of the first major cities to welcome in 2020. But there was anger that the fireworks went ahead as people huddled on beaches to escape the fires raging across Australia. Also tonight, protesters stormed the United States Embassy in Baghdad. The former boss of Nissan escapes house arrest in Japan by hiding in a musical instrument case. Plus, a New Year smile from baby Archie. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex share a new photograph of their son. And we'll take a look at tomorrow's front pages. That's in the press preview at 10:30. Good evening. Well, here in the UK, we've got just 2 hours to wait, but people around the world are already celebrating the new year and the start of a new decade. We can take you to Athens, which is the latest city to welcome in the year 2020. That's the scene there in Athens as fireworks go off on the Parthenon on Athens' Acropolis Hill. We've seen some pretty spectacular fireworks displays already from Sydney to Dubai. It's exactly an hour to go until we welcome in the year 2020 here in the UK, but in Europe they are already celebrating the beginning of the next decade. We can take you now live to Paris in France to watch the celebrations. Some pretty spectacular celebrations there in Paris as thousands of people descended on the Champs-Élysées to watch those fireworks around the iconic Arc de Triomphe. They do know how to throw a party in Paris. So, a decade so far with no agreed name is coming to an end. It brought us one coalition, two royal weddings, three referendums, Brexit, Donald Trump, and a British-born Wimbledon champion. Well, in a moment, we'll get the build-up to tonight's fireworks in London with Enda Brady. But